Mr. Speaker, most Canadians don't spend their evenings reading budget tables or credit reports, and frankly, they shouldn't have to. In a well-run country, those numbers are supposed to be boring. But nothing about Canada's finances is boring right now because this government has pushed us into territory where ordinary families are paying the price for extraordinary mismanagement. Let's start with the simplest truth. One understood by any family, any business, and any responsible adult. You cannot spend more than you earn forever. When a government does it, the consequences don't hit the politician who overspent, they hit Canadians. They show up in higher taxes, higher prices, and higher interest rates. They show up when your grocery bill climbs, but your paycheck doesn't. Overspending may happen in Ottawa, but the fallout lands on your dinner table, in your gas tank, and in your monthly budget. And now, the Parliamentary Budget Officer has confirmed, to the government's great irritation, the very thing they hoped no one would say out loud. The deficit is not shrinking like they said it would. It's doubling. Not because of a recession or an emergency, but because the government has chosen to grow spending by tens of billions of dollars. When you expand operating spending faster than the economy grows, deficits explode. This is not a conspiracy theory, it's arithmetic. Now, the government insists that all this spending is investment. Now, that would be convenient if it were true. But a label doesn't change reality. An investment is something that pays you back. A cost is something you pay for. Confusing the two doesn't make you sophisticated. It makes you irresponsible. A family understands this intuitively. Buying a new tool for work is an investment. Buying a new flat-screen TV for your man cave is a cost. Both may be great, but only one produces a return. The government has been calling almost everything it does an investment, even things that are clearly not. Museums and cultural centres, they may sound great, but they don't generate revenue for the country. They do not pay down the debt. They do not expand Canada's productivity. They are costs. There's nothing wrong with costs when you can afford them. But it's dangerous to pretend that costs will magically behave like investments. The PBO found that the government inflated its so-called capital investments by $94 billion, simply by renaming ordinary spending as assets. Other countries don't do that. Accountants don't do that. Economists don't do that. It's the kind of creative bookkeeping that hides problems rather than solving them. And now we see the consequence. Fitch Ratings, the agency responsible for evaluating our financial health, has warned of a downgrade of Canada's credit rating. That's not a symbolic gesture. That's a financial world saying out loud, many Canadians have already begun to feel we don't trust this government to manage debt. A downgrade will mean we pay more to borrow. When you owe as much as Canada does, that's not a small problem. It means the interest on the debt grows faster. It means more tax dollars go towards servicing yesterday's overspending instead of building tomorrow's opportunities. Mr. Speaker, Canadians deserve honesty. They deserve a government that understands the difference between spending and investing. They deserve policies rooted in reality, not wishful thinking. And above all, they deserve leadership that protects the next generation instead of sending the bill for this one. So I ask, how do we quit maxing out the national credit card and pull Canada back from the edge before the next generation pays the price?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health.
Mr. Speaker, the international orders and trading systems which powered Canada's prosperity for decades are quickly being changed and drastically reshaped, threatening our sovereignty, our prosperity, and our values. Faced with these realities, where others would simply endeavour to weather the storm, our government is rising up to meet the moment with humility, vigour, and confidence. Budget 2025 is the generational plan Canada needs to build our economy, protect our way of life, and empower Canadians like never seen before. We will build here at home, including supports for industries impacted by tariffs, nation-building infrastructure through the new major projects office, and millions of more homes for Canadians, including through a new agency, Build Canada Homes. We will protect what matters most, our people, our community, and our sovereignty by investing in our armed forces, in border security, and by rolling our bail reforms to ensure safer streets for all. We will empower Canadians with better careers, strong public services, and a more affordable life with measures to drive down competition in key sectors. Automatic federal benefits that will reach up to 5.5 million low-income Canadians and a permanent national food program. And with Budget 2025's new trade diversification strategy supported by a Trade Diversification Corridors Fund, we will explore new markets and sell more of the best that Canada has to offer. We know that in order to make these generational investments, Mr. Speaker, our government must make certain adjustments. This includes a new framework for budgeting, the cornerstone of which is a new capital budgeting framework that prioritizes spending that stimulates public and private sector capital investment while reining in day-to-day operational spending, which rose significantly during COVID and post-COVID eras. In doing so, Mr. Speaker, we're creating a more efficient and productive government for the future. This government will balance day-to-day operating spending with revenues by 2028 to 2029, while maintaining a declining deficit to GDP ratio. And we'll do this while enabling $1 trillion in total investment over the next 5 years through smarter public spending and stronger capital investment. A key part of this process, Speaker, is the comprehensive expenditure review, which will reduce inefficiencies and refocus government spendings on core priorities. It will rein in government spending, saving Canada $13 billion annually by 2028 to 2029, for a total with other savings and revenues of $60 billion over 5 years. Savings will be achieved by restructuring operations and consolidating internal services and right-sizing programs to realize efficiency. This will allow the government to invest more in the workers, businesses, and nation-building infrastructure that will build Canada strong. By making these adjustments now, we're making it possible to build the strongest economy in the G7.
The honourable member for Cloverdale, Langley City.
This budget is all about the magical trillion-dollar investment boom, as if private investors are lining up to pour hundreds of billions into Canada. But so far, the Prime Minister has circled the globe 4 times, literally, basically almost nothing to show for it. Why? Because businesses don't invest where the numbers don't add up. And right now, the numbers don't add up. Fitch Ratings, one of the world's major financial watchdogs, just warned that in this budget, Canada's finances are heading in the wrong direction. They stayed straight up in their report that this government has a pattern of promising one number and then spending way more every time. Even more shocking, the report says that when it comes to the rules, they mean absolutely nothing because they don't follow them anyway. Just last year, they broke all 3 targets they set for Budget 2024. An investor has the entire globe to choose from. He's not going to choose the one country that spins a great story but never keeps its promises.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health.
Mr. Speaker, Budget 2025 meets the moment Canada finds itself in with a responsible fiscal plan that will build Canada as an economic force for decades to come. The world is changing, and we must meet the moment by building on the solid foundation of strong Canadian industries bolstered by diverse international trade partners and the undeniable fact that we have exactly what the world needs. By becoming our own best customers, we will transform our economy from one of reliance on specific trade partners to the one that is more resilient to global shocks. With Budget 2025, we will spend less, invest more, and build Canada as an economic force for decades to come. We will make life more affordable for Canadians from coast to coast to coast, and we will build Canada strong. Thank you.